Hey everybody, this is Alex Ducelli Meller, and this is my training diary, Retraining an Off-the-Track Thoroughbred. You're watching Maven, who's an 8-year-old thoroughbred mare, raced a few times when she was 3 and has been sitting since then. She showed up as a stray at my house, but that's another story. This is my first ride. I just got on her, trotted around. I was happy with her trot rhythm and her lateral balance. I have her in a new Shul egg butt lozenge snaffle. And I just established that she went forward, turned, and stopped. And that was literally all I did. I think I was on her for 4 minutes. So this is our first ride. I think this is a minute of video from our 4-minute ride the first time. But I didn't want to stress her out. I just hopped on her and was pleased, and off I got. And then it rained for forever. So you're about to see her ride number 2, which was 12 days later. This is a photo of her the day I picked her up. So here we are on ride number 2. The first thing I like to teach off the tracks is to move laterally away from the leg. So obviously their brain has to be fairly quiet, but she's very focused. So this is about maybe 10 minutes into our ride. I just apply the aid until I get any sort of lateral inclination, even if it's just a thought, and then I release and praise, and they usually figure it out pretty fast. So here I'm showing a few leg yields in the walk. I'm riding her with little to no contact. The new Shul egg butt that I rode her in the first time, I felt was like a little bit too much bit for her. She was objecting anytime I touched her mouth. So I have her in a very flexible rubber mullen mouth snaffle now, and I think she likes that better. So I'm super happy with her walk rhythm, especially for ride number 2. My goal for this day was just to walk, trot, canter, see if I could get her to step sideways away from the leg and kind of feel out her brain as far as like if I could put a little pressure on and how she would handle that. So I'm riding her a little quick. I think probably the next time I ride her, I'll slow down, but she doesn't have a ton of natural impulsion, so I think I was trying to make that up, which I should not do, so I'll let her slow down next time. I am asking her to move just a little bit away from the leg here. I just want her to understand steering from the calf as well as steering from the hand. So there are moments like there where her shoulder kind of slides towards home, but for the most part, she quite understands turning. I'm still super happy with her trot rhythm here. If you've watched my videos, you probably know that I add the walk steps in to introduce the idea of a half halt. So my plan there was to ride one walk step or 2 walk steps and then back up to trot. But as I walked, she fell sideways, so I corrected that. And then I believe somewhere here I go and ride another walk transition just to see if she'll stay straight in that walk transition. And I think she does. Yes. So that was way better. And then I want her to think about moving on. So Maven's pretty laid back. Obviously, you can see me having to like give her a little kick here and there, which is super. I think she's going to be a really, really straightforward project. I'm excited to see how she develops because I know that her trot might look kind of quick and choppy to those of you who haven't restarted off the tracks, but she's actually fairly a loose mover, pretty big for an off the track with no retraining. Sometimes and I realize she's had 5 years of letdown, but sometimes they come off quite tight and they never figure out that like there's another option that they can swing through their backs and loosen their muscles rather than kind of move with them all clenched. So our steering goes out a little bit there. Always when I restart the off the tracks, I want to stick to the 5-to-1 rule for communication, which is actually a human principle, but I use it for horses as well. You really want to praise them 5 times for every 1 time you correct them. So here I go to canter. She obviously doesn't have a canter aid. This is the first time I've cantered her. She got just a little tight in her back. I definitely don't care about the lead, so I kind of expect them to pick up the wrong one the first few times. And so my thought process there was, okay, she picked up the left lead, maybe I'll track left, and she'll want to pick up the left lead again. So again, it's bothering me how quickly I'm riding her. Next time I'll slow her down. But then I asked for the canter again, which we got a much better transition. I'm super pleased with that. And she picked up the right lead, which is fine. I was telling Aubrey, my friend and videographer, I'm way happier when they, not a great transition. I'm way happier when they pick up both leads, even if they don't know when to use them appropriately, than if they only pick one up. So here when she picks up the wrong lead again, I just kind of go across the diagonal and make it the correct lead. So what I actually quite like about her canter, we had a little trip there, but she's got a nice rhythm, a pretty slow tempo considering she has no kind of formal arena training. You can see me get in 2 point there. I felt her back get a little tight, and then here when I ask for the down transition, I think I sit too hard and she swaps behind, which is no big deal if it happens just once, but if it happens multiple times, I start to think about either strength or some pain issues in the back. So I'm very pleased with this for her second ride. She's very willing. She's doing everything I ask of her. And here she gets the correct lead, which is always nice. And the steering goes out, and I kind of have to like kick her to keep her cantering through that turn. But then she kind of locks into a nice rhythm, a nice balance here. And we make a nice smooth turn, relatively for a first ride or second ride. And so I plan to ask her for a down transition here, and I ask a little bit more lightly with my seat that time, which was lovely. And that's my whole ride in its entirety. So I think I ride a down transition back to trot once and then another walk, and that's that. I like to keep it short and sweet, especially when they start out fairly relaxed. If they're a bit tighter, you may have to take it slower. Like this is quite a bit actually mentally, but she's older and has had quite a bit of time off. So big praises for Maven. So my plan with her is just to do some strength building and suppling and lots of exposure and kind of see what happens. So I'll try not to update every single ride, but you'll be seeing her again.